All right, guys. So tonight we're going to discuss your list is your life. And like I said, I want to break it back down to the basics of how we get, how we get to these income producing activities. Where does this stem from? How do we get to a place where we feel like we're successful in our business and we don't want to throw in the towel because we're spending more money on Shakeology each month than we're actually earning an income? I want, as your leader on this team, I want you to earn enough income to at least pay off that Shakeology each month so that you don't have to worry about, that fee going through, that is completely paid off for you. And then you also know that you're paying it forward and other people are becoming healthy in the process. So this whole month, we're going to go through all of this in terms of training, but tonight we're going to get down to the very basics of it, and it starts with your list, okay? So the title of this is Your List is Your Life. I'm actually going to go into presentation mode because I want you to be able to see all this really big. Okay, so first and foremost, we want to create a master list, okay? A master list, when you first start this business, can be as easy as a notebook, pencil, and paper, okay? And we're going to get into other ways of making lists and other places for lists. But for right now, your master list, everyone should have one. And so if I went, like gut check time, if I went to the team page tonight after this call was over and I said, hey guys, I want you to show me your master list, would you have one? And I'm going to speak from experience that, guys, there were years, when I say years, there were years in my business that I didn't actually have a tangible master list. I got around that. Every time that my upline coach would ask for a list, I would scribble something down really fast because I never had it. Every time I would join a new training, I would hurry up and create a new list because I didn't have one, because I hated it. I hated making a list. I don't know why. I can't really tell you why. But for some reason, it just felt like too much work for me. But what I've learned is that in order to stay organized, to know who I'm talking to really be able to track it, and to have my business go faster, my business works a lot faster every day because of a list, okay? Because I can simply just open my notebook and it's, okay, I'm on to Reagan right now. Okay, I'm on to Judy now. Okay, I gotta go on to Bonnie right now. And I can just go down my list. It takes away the scary factor because although those are people I care about, I don't have time to work through like the what ifs in my head. So the first thing about your master list is it should be every human you know. Now, my master list, if you're anything like me, is only women. That's just a choice I've made in my business. It does not have to be your choice in your business. So if you are doing men and women, every human you know. Don't prejudge. Okay, you never know, guys, who will need you, who will need this team. There are coaches that have joined this team. In fact, there's one sitting on this call right now. I had no idea Katie wanted to be on this team. In fact, this is a lesson for myself. A week ago, Katie reached out to me and said, Brittany, I needed that video you made. Like, I needed to hear that. And you know what? I never asked her because I'm like sucking in my own words right now. I'm like listening to my own words, you guys. So I hope you understand that when I teach this and preach this, that I'm also living and doing this with you guys at the same time. I'm so fortunate that Katie reached out to me, but what if she never did? What if somebody else asked her, right? And she decided, you know what? I'm going to cancel Brittany as my coach. I'm going to go over to this person. I'm going to join their team because they asked me. What if somebody else did that? I would be crushed, you guys. And I'm sure that if you had a client that you'd been working closely with, that you would be crushed too if they decided that they wanted to join Team Beachbody, but they went and joined another team because you never asked them, right? I want you, when you're creating your list, to list everyone you know who deserves to be healthy and happy. Now that's kind of funny, right? Because I'm sure that if I said, oh, you didn't put Jenny on the list, I guess you don't think she deserves health and happiness, you'd probably be like, well, Brittany, yeah, she deserves health and happiness, but, and you'd give me some reason for why you didn't add her onto the list, probably based off of a prejudgment, right? Guys, everyone deserves to be healthy and happy, right? And that's what we're in the business of. We're in the market of health and happiness. So list everybody you know that deserves that. And then once you create a crazy master list, and I don't want you to sit here and say, Brittany, my list is only 20 people. We'll get to that in a second, but no, your list has to be like massive, right? After you have a list though, I want you to put a star next to your top 30 dream teamers. Now, these are people that you believe wholeheartedly would rock at Inspire Beauty, that would rock at being a part of our team and our community and this health and happiness mission that we're on. And you don't need to, again, I'm going to keep going back to this whole prejudgment, because a lot of times it's our own prejudgments of what we think somebody's going to say or what we think they think about us and our business that stops us in our tracks. So when you're doing your top 30 dream teamers, think of it like a fantasy football league. Like seriously, like this is who I would love to have on the list. Chances are, guys, if they're a rock star, if there's something about them that you think is so insanely amazing that you put a star next to them, then tell them that. Tell them that's why. Like maybe it's just you love their vibe and you love talking to them because they're so funny. And so you love, you know, like in a perfect world, if they would never say no to you, who would be the 30 people you would want to be on our team tomorrow morning, right? And then also create a dirt list. And this is kind of funny, and especially as brand new coaches, a dirt list is like somebody who loves you so much that they would buy dirt from you. You know what I mean? Like my mom. God love my mom. My mom is on our team. My mom is a coach on our team. My mom orders Shakeology. My mom used to come onto these Zooms when nobody else would, so it was me and my mom, and she has been my biggest freaking fan. And so she's my dirt list. Like mom is my dirt list, right? And so think about the friends or the family members that would do anything for you because they love you so much they would support you. Those are the people that you can reach out to first, you guys, right? Those are the people you can add to your team and go through those weird conversations. Trust me when I say, when I first invited, and I'm sure Becca on this call can probably attest because she is the oldest, not oldest in age, but oldest coach I have on our team. Becca, I'm pretty certain when I invited her to become a coach or even invited her to the challenge group that we did, I'm certain that I did not speak eloquently. I don't even remember the conversation, quite honestly, that her and I had to get to the point where she ended up signing up, but I'm certain that I was not good at it. I know I wasn't, but Becca and I had a relationship, and for whatever reason, she loved me enough that she's like, you know what? Yes, I will do your challenge group and I will join your team. And I am so thankful for her for doing that because she's still here today. But guys, and I'm not calling you like my dirt list, Becca, just side note, but she's somebody that loved me anyway. And she didn't care that I didn't speak about the business like a top coach because I wasn't at the time. I was brand new. And so I think that stops us in our tracks also, is that we don't know who to talk to because we're afraid of how we'll sound when we do talk to them. So that's why you have your dirt list. That's why you have these people that'll love you anyway, that you can go back 5 years from now and be like, dude, remember that time I invited you to be a coach and like I said, it's so crazy because I didn't even know what I was talking about. And that's your dirt list. Okay. Now, the next thing is when people say, but I don't know enough people. First of all, I'm going to call BS on that. Let's break down why I call BS. The average person, guys, from the New York Times themselves reports that the average person knows 290 people. Okay. Now we're not talking like Facebook friend knowing people, like actually knows 290 people. Okay. That's after extensive research they did. I'm not going to get into it. But the New York Times posted that. Now, for the average wedding from the not.com, guys, the average wedding invite list. Now your wedding, you're going to spend money on people to come attend a wedding, drink and eat with you and enjoy like a big day in your life, right? So those are going to be people that you like really care about, right? Or that at least your extended family really cares about, right? Got to make mom happy or got to make grandma happy. But the invite list for a wedding, you guys, on average is anywhere from 152 people to 165 people. So think about that. If a wedding list with these exclusive people is that massive, you can't tell me that you don't know enough people. You do know enough people. And if you don't think currently you know enough people to talk to, the good news is you're going to be adding new people daily after we get off of this call. So let's jog your memory a little bit, okay? How the heck do I find these people, Brittany? Well, the first one is really easy, social media contacts, okay? And some of this might actually encapsulate social media contacts as well. It might actually fall into multiple categories, the same people, but use these to kind of jog your memory. So social media contacts is going to be your biggest one right now because I'm sure you have quite a few people as friends and followers on Facebook or Instagram, Snapchat, wherever you do your social media. People from school. So think back to college high school, a lot of times, like for me, I got really disconnected from my high school friends because Facebook for me was not around when I was in high school. It didn't come until college. And so at that point, a lot of my high school friends I didn't connect with because I connected with my college friends, right? And so I've gone back in time and in the last year reconnected with a lot of people from high school because I wasn't originally friends with them. So think back, get out a yearbook if you need to. Think about maybe where you go to church or synagogue or your place of worship, anything like that. Those are people that you could connect with. I'm certain that your church has a Facebook page. My church has a Facebook page, but they also have a page for each of their campuses separately. And they also have a young professionals page. And so I'm able to go to those pages, be actively involved and part of those pages, part of the dialogue on there. And on those pages, I can look through the friends and start friend requesting people that I think would want to be healthy and happy, right? Think of friends of friends. So a lot of times if I've got a friend and I know that they don't really want to, they don't have money right now, or they don't have the time or whatever their thing is right now, they're not ready. I can go to their friends list and I can look at the friends that they have. And maybe we have mutual friends, right? And so that helps out a lot. Think of your spouses or your boyfriends or your girlfriends, friends, and family. This has been a big one for me with Charles, is that when I moved here, I was like, well, I felt really stuck. Like, who do I reach out to? And then I realized, let me go on his friends list. Let me look at all the women that he was friends with either in high school or college. Now that's proved to be funny in certain situations, but it's been great because it's an easy opening line. Hey, thanks so much for accepting my friend request. I noticed that you're friends with Charlie. How do you know him, right? And that opens up some dialogue. Most of the time, they're not his girlfriend. They just know him from school or something like that. Have met a couple past girlfriends, though, and it's really funny. Think about your past or present work friends. That's how I got into Beachbody, you guys. My past work friend, Emily, who we worked together at Lowe's when I was still in college, that's who I connected with on Facebook, and that's how I became a coach. So a past work friend is how I personally became a coach. So it works, guys. Think about anybody you've gone to a dinner party with, bridal showers, weddings, graduations. A great tip that I like to do now is when I'm with somebody, when I meet somebody in public, I'll say, hey, oh my gosh, like I'd love to chat with you more, or I'm always looking to connect with new people. Can you friend request me on Facebook? And I'll give them my phone and have them look it up, like look up their own name and do, the whole thing. Cause sometimes there's like 5 million Jenny Smiths, right? So it's like, here, find yourself on Facebook, and then they'll do it. They'll do it themselves. So when you're at an event, guys, you got to get out of your comfort zone a little bit and start getting more people added to your list. People who provide you services, my hairdresser. I found her on Facebook, right? And so we have an easy connection because she does my hair. Professionals, any teachers, doctors, nurses, real estate agents, guys, all of these professions are really great bridges for what we do in Beachbody. All these people, all these professionals end up being really great coaches. Any sort of nonprofit boards or volunteers in your community that mom groups, stay-at-home moms that or groups on Facebook with this, any sort of in-person groups like book clubs, wine clubs, bunco groups. I know Lori on our team plays bunco. All those people are people in her network. People who share the same hobbies as you. Parents of kids' classmates, okay? Teachers, coaches, instructors, mentors. And guys, most all of us, I believe, on the call right now do not have our own children yet, but think about the children you coach and teach. Those adolescents' parents might be a great market for you to get into. So I know a lot of times with Color Guard or with the marching arts, it's hard because you're like, well, all the people that I know are too young and they don't have money. Well, what about their parents, right? Start getting in touch with them. Reach out to them. You shouldn't be reaching out and being friends with your students on Facebook anyway. Be friends with their parents. That's a little better avenue, right? So friending those people. People on planes, trains, automobiles, whatever, guys, don't discredit anybody. Strike up conversation anywhere you go. Active military and military spouses are really great in this business because they have to get up and move quite frequently. And this also offers an opportunity for a military spouse to kind of feel connected beyond just her role as a military spouse. And so, and feeling like she's doing something of service as well. So military spouses do great in this industry. If you go to a coffee shop all the freaking time and you see the same person, say hi to them, like be a friend, right? Neighbors or former neighbors, people who love the arts, people who get things done, right? If you know somebody who's a go-getter, like, hey, I need to be friends with you and write you on my list. And your family's network, right? Friend requesting, again, just like I went to Charlie's friend page and found people that I thought I could connect with, doing the same on your mom's or your dad's page, your brother or your sister. And then this is the best one. You're going to create your chicken list. So you've got a master list, right? And I'm going to guarantee on your master list, there's still going to be people, even though I told you not to prejudge and to put every walking, breathing human being down that you think needs health and happiness, you're still going to be chicken. And I get it because I'm chicken all the time. Every single day in my business, when I sit down, I have to rip the Band-Aid and I have to like dig deep and say, Brittany, get over your damn self, right? Guys, if you don't talk to them, just like I was talking about with Katie earlier, if you don't talk to them, someone else will. Now, I'm fortunate that Katie reached out to me, but again, if you don't talk to them, somebody else will. And I can't tell you how many people I've watched since starting being a coach. I've watched them like just from afar, never reached out to them because I didn't think they'd need this. I didn't think they'd need Inspire Beauty, or I didn't think they'd need Beachbody products. And then all of a sudden, I see them post one day about 21 Day Freaking Fix. And they're loving it. And here's their before and after. And I'm like, what? Dang it. Because I didn't talk to them, somebody else did. And our business, what we do in network marketing is so huge, and the business is growing so much so that inevitably, yes, someone else will talk to them. So you've got to, point number 2, get over your damn self. I mean that with all the love in my heart. Quit making up stories in your head, guys, about what people are going to say. We do this. I do this every day. Oh, this is what they might say to me. This is what they're going to think about what I say. This is what they're going to do. Quit making up those stories. You have no proof that that's what they're going to say, think, or do. Just take action. Have all sincerity in your heart, right? Come forward with your heart and with trying to help somebody, right? And then it's going to take care of itself. And if it's not for them, they'll let you know. And that's it. Okay? And this is what I was saying before. If they're a stud, don't you want them to be running with you and with us as a team? So your chicken list, guys, is all the people you don't want to talk to because you're afraid that they're like too badass for you. But if they're such a stud, if they're so amazing, isn't that somebody you'd want on this team? Isn't that somebody you'd want to be running with you and want to help mentor, right? And vice versa. And the reality is, guys, being chicken, it can cost you millions. And I know there's not a single one of us sitting on this call tonight making $1 million a year with this industry, but there are plenty of people who make millions of dollars a year doing Beachbody coaching. And so being chicken can cost you literally all the money that you want to make, whatever your millions is for you. If you're just trying to make $200 a month, being chicken can cost you $200 a month. If you're trying to make, $1,000 a month, being chicken can cost you $1,000 a month, right? So we've got to get our chicken list and then start working on it. So how do we manage our master list? Okay. Again, you can write a list on pencil and paper. It's a great way to start. And it's something that I actually start with in my day. So I actually want to escape this, make it a little smaller and make sure that we can kind of see what's going on. Okay. Boop. So I have a notebook that I like to write in every day. And when I start a new month, I always start my new connections for the month. So I wrote April connections, and then every day as I'm going, I like to just stay here and do this. It's hard for me to go back and forth. And so when I'm in Facebook Messenger and I'm trying to reach out to somebody, I'm going to physically reach out to them in Messenger, write their name down that I reached out to, and I'm going to go on to the next person that I want to reach out to. And I'm going to do that. Okay. But this master list it only gets me so far, right? I have to move on to something else that maybe is a little bit more structured. Okay. And so for me, Streak is really structured. I'm going to show you my Google Streak really quick. And I'm just going to show you the My Time to Shine challenge right now. So I've got leads from that. I've got my past interests, and I've got people that fall down the pipeline through this. And so this is how I kind of go through challenge groups. I'm not going to do a whole long thing on this today, but I've got to change this now over to April, but this is from March connections, people that I sent hey girl messages to. When they respond, I move them down into forming our relationship. Then I can pitch a free group or joining a free group, pitching a challenge group, et cetera, et cetera. So this helps me to stay organized. It's easier for me to move people in a downward fashion, but maybe for you, it's easier to move in like a left to right fashion and to go through some step lists. So another thing is looking at a funnel. Okay. I believe that you could make however many steps you want, but there's one that I found called a 7-step funnel. Let me see if I can pull it up. I think I had it here on I did a screenshot of it earlier. Let me just get rid of all this junk. Let's see here, guys. No, I didn't. I don't think I did. Do you guys hear Frankie yelling at me? Frankie, leave me alone. Trying to run a business. No, I didn't. I did screenshots of all the other ones, but not that one. Okay, that's all good. But a 7-step funnel, guys, the reality is, and we're going to talk through funnels in the team page throughout this month. I really want to talk about how we funnel people, but everybody starts in our funnel at the very top. When we have this master list, we've got everybody here. So that's why you've got to have your list, but you've got to move them through the funnel. In this book that I'm reading right now, Get Over Your Damn Self, it's so good. Rami Newstad, I believe is her name. She was one of the top people with Rodan and Fields. So she's in network marketing. She knows what it takes in network marketing. She breaks it all down. But in that book, she talks about the funnel and she says that nobody likes a constipated funnel. And it's so true. Like, you don't want people to get stuck in your funnel, because all it does is it just frustrates you. Like, okay, I was talking to this person and now they're just kind of like in limbo. Like, you want to get people through your funnel to get them to either coaching, the product, referrals, and a no. Like, you just want to get them through that funnel as quick as possible. So having a master list and then moving them through where you want them to go really helps. A 7-step process funnel would look something like this. You'd write down the person's name and maybe some notes. And then the first thing you would do is that you would like and comment on their statuses. And you do that for like 1 to 2 days, right? And so I'm putting a check mark in their box. Like, I have, Becky Sue, and she is a stay-at-home mom who loves dogs. And then so I wrote that in my notes, got that there. And then on the first day, I'm commenting on her stuff and I'm liking her statuses. Okay, then I'm just going to keep going down and I'm going to make sure that I'm doing that with everybody on my list. Well, then when 2 days passes, and I've done that for about 2 days where I'm kind of on her radar, she sees I've liked her stuff, she sees that I'm commenting, then maybe I reach out with a personal message regarding one of her posts. Maybe her and her husband are going on vacation, or maybe her kids are going back to school, or whatever it is, right? That I find on her post, and I reach out and I send a personal message, right? And then I check that off. That's step 2 in the funnel. And then after that, now we're forming the relationship. Step 3 in the funnel. I'm going to start asking about her family, her occupation, her interests, like her recreational hobbies. Yeah. And then I'm going to get to inviting her to a free group, or inviting her to a challenge group, or inviting her to a coach opportunity event. And I check that off. And so I'm going to take her through the funnel, and everybody that I have on my contact list goes through the funnel no matter what. Now, if somebody gets stuck in the funnel, we know people fall off the radar, and we hate that, right? Like, that's terrible. And we always hate when people fall off our radar and just stop, like, they kind of ignore us. But life happens and we can't take it personally. We just follow up with them. Or maybe 90 days later, we start the process over again, right? And we just go through that. But once you get past your first month in this business, guys, I love to have pencil and paper in front of me in the moment, but everything gets transferred. I spend 5 minutes at the end of my day or at the end of my work time when I'm doing my power hour stuff, and I transfer it all over. Okay, so you want a more manageable list, whether it's an Excel spreadsheet. A lot of coaches use that, where they have their name, their email, a place for notes, and then maybe like in a challenge group or not, and they color code it. A lot of coaches do that. You could do a Google Doc so that it goes everywhere with you. You can access it on your phone. You could use Streak like I just showed you. You could just have a binder and take one of the trackers that are in our team page. There's so many trackers that I've posted in the files section, or you could find on Pinterest. There's so many more. Like, there's so many trackers out there. You could find a tracker that works for you, print off a bunch, right? And create a binder out of that. But whatever it is, you've got to take your master list, and there's got to be some sort of management tool so that you don't just have a bunch of names on the list and you say, I don't really want to, like, I don't know what to do with that person. You know what I mean? You've got to know where they're going in your funnel. You've got to know what is the next step for that person. And again, stop getting in your head telling yourself, oh, but they're not going to want to join my group, or, oh, they don't have money for this, or, oh, I know they're so busy. And if I know they're busy, guys, I tell them that. Hey girl, I know you're so busy right now and this is probably not a good time, but I'm getting ready to start a challenge group and I know you'd love it. Would you like more information, or do you know anybody else that would like some? It's that easy. Acknowledge that they're busy. If you know somebody's busy, I've got so many people right now that I'm talking to that are going to WGI this weekend. And I know that. And I keep acknowledging, girl, I know this is a busy week for you. Let's just get you plugged in so that after you get back from WGI, you're going to be good to go. It's that easy. Acknowledge that they're busy, and they'll trust and respect you a little bit more, right? And then we're going to add to our list daily. So it's not just about creating a list. It's not just about going through and checking off that you've taken them through a funnel, okay? And again, I want to take the funnel concept and break that down even further in a separate video for you guys. So just bear with me for that. But after you're doing that, guys, you've got to keep adding to your list. The reality of this business is that you've got to be in love with talking to people and helping them. You really do. If you don't enjoy helping people and talking to people, and I don't mean like, oh, if you don't like helping people, like that sounds like I'm saying like you're a bad person. I don't mean it like that. I mean like it's got to give you a deep burning joy to want to help other people, right? If you don't really have that deep burning joy to want to help yourself and others, then it's not going to work. You've got to be able to keep falling in love with new people every day, connecting with them, learning about them, discovering whether what you have to offer, which is health and happiness, is something that they need right now, right? So keep falling in love with people every single day, right? Get fear out of the equation. It's about helping people. Our business, guys, you've got to start realizing that our business goes with us wherever we go, right? And so I am not a walking billboard. I'm not a walking sales pitch, but I'm open to opportunity wherever I am. If I think that there's somebody, if in my head I think, man, this person would be a really awesome challenger, man, they'd be a really awesome coach, I find a way to make sure I've connected with them before we depart in our separate directions, right? Because it's important. So keep that in mind. Start friendly conversations daily. You have no idea where that conversation could take you, okay? I started a friendly conversation with a neighbor a few months back. And then I went over to her place for wine one night when Charlie was out of town, and that was really fun. And then she just sent me a text message the other day asking me what Shakeology is. Like, I didn't prompt it at all. Just open up conversation, because you have no idea months down the road where that conversation will eventually go if you're showing up every day to your business, right? Adding new friends to your network daily. And so once you add new friends, they get added to your master list and they go through your master funnel, okay? It's a process. It's when you treat it more like a step-by-step process and less about in your head and what are people going to think and who should I talk to, when it's clear-cut, black and white on the paper, you just go through it, right? And then listen, guys, keep your ears open. Again, you never know when somebody is in need of you. So keeping your ears open for the struggle that somebody's having. Maybe financially, that's their struggle right now. Maybe they have self-esteem issues right now. Maybe they have struggles with feeling like they don't fit in or they're not part of a community. Maybe some of their struggles linger with confidence. Maybe their struggles are fitness related or health related. Listen for those struggles and see where you can help them in this business, okay? And I always like to say, be a professional friend maker, because at the end of the day, if you just work to be a better friend to people, you're going to build that trust. Shalene this morning talked about, the age-old marketing strategy is know, like, trust. They've got to know you. If they don't know who you are, they're never going to like you. They don't have that option. So you got to show up on social media and teach people who you are so that they know who Becca is, who Kaylee is, who Katie is, who Brittany is, right? They've got to know who we are by us showing up and sharing our story. Then they can decide if they like us based on what we're sharing them. Not everybody's going to like us. I got somebody today that hated on me. They don't like me. Not my problem. Got to decide if they're going to like you. And then from there, if they know you and they like you, now they might start to trust you, right? And so go into it trying to get people to know who you are and like you so that eventually they can trust you in this, okay? That's it for my content tonight. And Nicole, I missed your face. That wasn't on the screen a second ago. And Nicole, does anybody have questions in our last 2 minutes together on that or anything? I'm going to unmute us. Anybody have questions?
Cool.
Okay, I know it was a lot of content, and like I said, that whole funnel thing, I'm actually in the process of creating a document so you can see what those steps would look like to make it easier for you to kind of have a person and check them off through their steps, right? But it's really about starting a list. So, serious question that you have to kind of ask yourself right now. I'm not going to make you raise your hands or anything like that, but ask yourself, do I actually have a list, Brittany? And if you don't, you know where you got to go. You've got to make that list, right? Cool? Cool beans? All right, ladies, thanks so much for hopping on tonight. I'm going to end this for us so that we don't run out of time. If you have any questions, take them over to the team page, and I will post the recording and the PowerPoint there. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.